Hello, my friend. Thanks for joining me and showing an interest in our Sculpt plugin. Sculpt focuses on 3D geometry tasks. ArcViz artists are loving it, especially with imported BIM and CAD 3D models from software such as REVIT. Some tools use multi-threading, taking advantage of all your computer system processing cores to rip through complex and difficult tasks that Max script and Python scripts simply cannot handle or would take forever to process. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Like, boring waiting, right? Let us get into it. You access Sculpt from the top menu or toolbar. The plugin UI is set out in 3 rows, with access to Sculpt's help docs by clicking the question mark in the header. Before we begin, I'll click on Settings on the footer. Here, you can change the default Edit Mesh conversion to Edit Poly and Auto Smooth Objects. Also, advanced users can change the processor threads for multi-threading tools. Don't change this unless you know what you're doing. Right, explode objects. They're self-explanatory, but I'll show you a couple. The first one, explode to element, should be used on smaller selections of objects, such as a sofa. If I check change name and give it a name, all the elements will be named sofa. Next, I'll use explode by material. For this, I'll select an imported building REVIT model. You can see it explodes quickly. Attach objects. Click Weld Attached if you want all the objects welded. Select the objects. In my case, I'll select the building I exploded. Attach objects attaches everything into one entity. Now, I'll attach by material. Everything is attached by their assigned material. Objects with no materials are ignored. Attach by layer. If you have no layers, it will attach all to the default one. I'll quickly explode the building as I wish to demo the Attach Similar objects. Now select the building and click Attach Similar. All objects with similar properties, such as handrails or windows, will be combined. Attach by name. You can type in the name of an object or part of the name, and it will find all other objects that share the name and attach them. I like to use a wildcard asterisk in the name if I only want to use part of the name. Alternatively, use the prefix and suffix settings to refine. Before I move on, a tip I recommend for scene management after attaching or exploding objects by material is to open Springboard and apply the Layer by Material tool. That's if you like using layers. View diagnostics. Just like in Scribe, the diagnostic tools use our traffic light color coding to identify issues. Red has issues, green doesn't. By clicking on each of the teapot icons, the tool temporarily replaces the materials with the traffic light colors. Take note. Don't forget to click Restore Wire Color when you've finished, as this will reset to the original materials. A handy tip if you plan to use tools such as Display Double Faces is to attach all the objects first. It improves multi-threading and speeds up the process significantly. You can always explode them after checking. If you find issues, the next step is to fix them, or repair objects. The top 2 tools relate to double faces. You can detach them first before deleting, or if you prefer, just delete them. Next, delete any isolated vertices. Then, at the bottom, there's Rebuild New Mesh. Okay, you may be thinking, so what's this do? Well, it performs a complete reconstruction of the selected geometry, thereby removing any issues that may have developed. Conform to surface. Select the objects you wish to place. You don't need to select the geometry below. Check the Conform geometry to deform the selected objects to the below shapes. You'll need to ensure the mesh has enough vertices to conform correctly. Weld Vertices. Select the objects, then set the weld threshold. Click Weld Object Vertices to apply. Material IDs. I'll show you how to create a mixed tiled floor as an example. Select the object and set the random count. Then click Random ID Face to apply. You can reset all to ID 1 by clicking Set All. Smoothing groups. These are self-explanatory and work on all selected objects. Retopologise Plane. This creates a new quad mesh from the selected objects, which can include overlapping surfaces. I'll show you an example. Start by selecting all the surfaces you wish to clean up. Adjust the grid size of the new mesh. When you're happy with the scale, click Apply. It's worth noting here that if the original surfaces have UVW map modifiers and materials applied, the tool will use the first selected object material and apply it to the new mesh. Retopologise Massing. Before discussing this, it's worth mentioning what this is for or not for. Its primary function is to work with imported CAD stacks and massing models, especially architectural models from SketchUp. It's not meant for simplifying and retopologizing crazy complex models, such as an engineering detail. My sick engine model, for example. You might like to geek out and wish to know how this analyzes the selected 3D models and performs the reconstruction. In simple terms, it's like a scanner that inspects the external envelope of the model at set height intervals, or grid distance. Adjusting the setting means the scans get closer or further apart, resulting in more complex or simplified results. Repair normals. These tools help to repair normal orientation on selected objects. Unify normals. This attempts to unify the normals based on overall surface direction. Flip normals. Changes the direction of the normals on the selected object. Normals from pivot. This attempts to conform normals based on the pivot position of the selected surface. That's it for Sculpt. In my next video, I'll discuss Illumi, which is great for fast HDRI look dev lighting. Thanks for watching!